So it looks like we've spent a long time tanking bosses with bugged dodge chance, which might not sound like a big deal, but they've seen it as such a big deal that they've actually nerfed Algalon. Not right now, but on Tuesday, so next reset, they'll be nerfing Algalon, the physical damage that he deals, by 10%, which is quite a lot. I actually think that it might not be enough. Now, I'm not one that would call out for nerfs. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what it is like when the dodge is fixed. But before I show you just what little bit of diving into the logs that I've been doing today, this is the actual post. So they've said we've recently discovered a bug causing tanks to benefit from roughly twice the intended amount of dodge from the dodge rating statistic. In order to avoid seeing raid groups skew towards maximizing for this, we're going to fix the bug. This fix will not change your dodge percentage displayed on your character sheet, as the bug was invisible to players. Now, as you may or may not know, I tanked all of Phase 1 and I've healed all of Phase 2. So I've not really kept up to date looking at, prop paladin discords or anything like that. So this could be very commonly known that the dodge is sort of over-inflated, but it doesn't show on the character sheet. So if it is and you already knew that, fair play. But I've had a quick look through on Discord with the guys from the guild. We'd just finished a 10-man literally today, and the amount you're dodging on Algalon is actually scarily high. And we've compared it with Prop Warrior, our Prop Warrior from the guild who tanked it today, a Feral Druid who tanked it today, and me, because we actually had two groups going simultaneously. The only difference is I solo tanked it, they tanked it between them, but it doesn't really matter how long they spent tanking because you're just trying to see what the percentage was. So at the same time as rectifying this overinflated dodge that you're getting from the rating, they're also going to deploy a hotfix to basically reduce Algalon's melee damage by 10%. Now, if we have a real quick look, and we can look at any of these fights from today, but we'll use Algalon just because it's the one that I've actually got up and I've been looking at. If we look at his melee attacks on me, you can see he done 267 in total. That's how many swings he done. 111 of those hit and 58.58% of those missed. So when we then look at how they missed, you can see I dodged 61% of those attacks that missed, and I parried 26% of those attacks that missed. You can see I'm actually in a raid at the moment. I'm not tanking, I'm healing, but I'll just show you my stats quickly. I've got 23% dodge, 19% parry, and 25% block. Obviously, I'm not like consumabled up or anything like that for tanking, but 23% block and let's say 20% parry. That's what we're working with. So you would expect the dodges and parries to be fairly similar in terms of attacks that miss me. But like you can see, there is a big, big difference between dodges and parries. And not just Algalon. If we was to have a look at Ignis, for example, and we look at the melees, 48% was dodge there versus 33% parries. If we look at Freya, again, nearly 50%. If we look at Thorim, it was 82% dodge. So yes, there's absolutely something wrong there. But what I fear is, by nerfing it, which is it's not a nerf, it's just a fix, it's what should be obviously happening, it's going to make more than just Algalon a little bit more difficult, where it needs a nerf. Because if this is going to now drop down like significantly, we might start seeing issues. Because if you're using something like Monarch Crab or just any on-use dodge trinket, that 300 rating when you use it, we're on 23%. I'll just let it come off cooldown and we'll use it and we'll see what it gives. But then you've got to remember it's giving, according to Blizzard, roughly double that rating. So we're actually going to be getting 4%-ish, well, over that, about closer to 5%, let's say. So you're going to be getting at least 10% dodge from this trinket. Now, I'm sure you guys that dig really deep into Warcraft logs will be able to find loads of maybe better examples, more reliable statistics, exporting some of the data from, pools of kills rather than just me looking at individual ones. But just looking at this very, very small data size of how much I'm personally dodging versus the actual amount of dodge that I've got, it could be a significant change because they've said roughly double. I would say it could be triple. Almost, because the same applies for our Prop Warrior, who also done Algalon today. He's got around 21-22% dodge, let's say, but when we actually look at how much he dodged, so there was 68% misses from just the melee swings from Algalon. 62% of those misses, which was 97 misses in total, was dodged, and then 23% parry. You would expect that dodge to be around 23%, very similar to parry, because most tanks have got within 1 to 2%, let's say, or maybe even if we was to say a 5% difference between the amount of dodge, block, parry, they're always normally pretty close. So let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, this could have a bit of a knock-on effect, making all of the bosses that little bit more difficult, which, it is what it is, that's fine. But things like Yogg Zero, when you're tanking those ads and you're getting absolutely slapped, imagine now you're going to dodge, let's say, 30% less of those attacks. It's going to make it significantly more difficult, especially if you was already aware of this and you was stacking loads of dodge because you knew you was getting inflated stats from it and it was making things easier. You'll suffer a lot more than those of us who were a bit in the dark because we don't tank much. So yeah, like and subscribe. See you later.